How are you? Welcome to my kitchen. I've taken off my usual jade fish from China and put on a whole bud of garlic. No, you guessed it right. It's a whole bud of garlic because today we're going to talk about garlic, and the function of a bud around your neck is to keep away the werewolves, and it works. There's not a one anywhere around. Garlic is an ancient medicine. It's supposedly an ancient aphrodisiac, but most of all, it's an ancient food. It goes back to Egypt. I love this stuff, and today we're going to do nothing but cook with garlic. When you buy garlic, please try and choose big, fat heads, and try and buy them in the bulk. Don't go to the supermarket and buy them in those little bitty plastic boxes. You know, the stuff's been in cold storage too long. Should be good, firm heads, and store them in a basket just like this, or in an open bowl on your counter. You don't, the little things, lots of air, you see. They're now selling little crocks where you can put garlic in and hide it. You can do all sorts of things, but it's best to keep it outside. You don't have to do anything else with it. This is the old French garlic basket. I have a larger size if you're interested. This one is a kick. Can you believe this? This is really garlic, and that is one head of garlic. This is elephant garlic. My mother has a neighbor on Whidbey Island in Washington, out in the middle of the Sound, and he grows this for us. And look at this is that is one clove of garlic. Now this is the kind of garlic, look at the size of this thing, you see? This is the kind of garlic that was common in ancient Egypt at the time of the building of the pyramids. And they tell us that the Egyptian slaves were issued garlic every day, and they ate this stuff like an apple. It's not quite as strong as our garlic. It's beautiful stuff, you see. And when the Pharaoh decided, he had 100,000 people working on this pyramid, and when they decided that they had to cut down on their expenses, they cut down on the garlic ration for the slaves. You know what they did? They struck. It's the first labor strike we have on record, and it was over garlic, my beloved garlic. There. Here's one clump. You understand that this would be enough for a nice dish. Well, in any case, let me show you how to clean a chunk of garlic properly. This is a big one, you see, so you don't have to worry about this. And most of you aren't going to be able to find this, and when you do, it's going to cost you a fortune. It's a rather rare commodity, but I just love it. Isn't this neat? A big batch of elephant garlic. Let me put up a clump here, along with our regular garlic. When I buy garlic, I buy it by the long string, and I hang this in my kitchen. This long string will last me for a year, you see, a season. And if you just leave it in your kitchen that way, why, it'll hold up fine. You don't have to worry about it at all. Now, normally, when you clean a clove of garlic, please don't go to any pain at all. Simply take the whole bud, lean it down on the counter, and I want you to lean into this. Use the posterior weight. Lean into it and just crush. The whole thing will fall apart, you see. And in that way, you can pick out a clove or two. You know, when they're jumping around, there's good garlic. And we'll whonk it, either with a glass or I'm going to use my knife, you see. Be careful, don't have the blade up so you cut yourself. Have the blade pointing down to the table, you see, not up. All right, and we'll just give it a whonk, you see, like so, and pick it up with the tip on your hand, and the garlic clove will fall right out. There you are. That's all there is to it, and you can peel garlic like mad. As a matter of fact, let me show you what I did before you came. I peeled a little garlic for you. And today we're going to use this for great joy, because garlic really is a lovely food. I met one fellow, I think, once in my life who was not a garlic fan. And, you know, he was weird. He walked funny. He thought strange things. He doesn't like wine. He doesn't like garlic. I've never seen him again. No way to base a friendship. All right, first of all, I want to show you an old trick from Italy that will surprise you, I suppose. But I want you to try this. Next time you're baking a roast in the oven, put some garlic, where do I put one? Put the whole bud on the tray and bake it for an hour with your meat. The whole works, you see, nothing else. Now, show you what you come up with. About 325 degrees. My garlic has been in the oven for an hour. There we are. And you have baked garlic cloves. Can you imagine such a thing? We're going to turn this into we're going to use this as an hors d'oeuvre or a canapé. I'll show you how it's done. You simply open up the old, open up the old parchment here, and you'll find the cloves ready to go. You take a whole clove. There's one. Ouch. Oh, this is so hot. You really must let this cool a bit before you give it to your guests. Anyhow, what I'm trying to do is to put one of these, ouch, there. Owie, owie, owie. You squeeze the paste, you see, out of the garlic clove. It's been baked down to a paste. It's just very lovely. It's very mild. And then you eat it thusly. It's very good. No, it's not strong at all. and it's terrific. No, that's good. Isn't garlic a great thing? I just love this stuff. So here's our first dish today, baked garlic, 1 hour at 325. And no, I don't mind talking with my mouth full. That's part of the game around here, and that's how it should be. Now, let me make a Russian garlic salad for you. This is so strange. Excuse me. This is so strange. I'm choking to death, not on the garlic, but on the cracker. It wasn't the garlic. This salad came to me from a friend in Tacoma, Washington. He spent some time as a scientist in Russia, and he claims that this is what they had for dinner in the Georgia steppes in Russia. It gets cold there in the wintertime, and this is how you protect yourself. I'm going to blanch. Blanch means to throw it in boiling water for just a second. I'm going to blanch a handful of garlic, the whole clove. You see what I'm doing? The whole clove. We're going to put this in boiling water for just a few minutes, and then we'll take it out and dip it in ice water and chill it. So I'd want to blanch that for about 3 minutes, but I'm not going to take that much time now. I want to show you the salad in any case. All right, we'll pretend that it's 3 minutes. I'm going to dip it into cold water now, just to stop the cooking process. Isn't that clever? Shake it dry, and it goes into my salad bowl, which looks like this. This is a salad bowl. Well, remember, there's nothing else in this salad but what you see. This is the whole works. Now, into that, we're going to put some olive oil. We're going to marinate this beautiful whole cloves of garlic. Can you imagine such a thing for dinner? Olive oil, a bit of wine vinegar, just a smidgen. We do this to taste, of course. And I would like to add some salt and pepper. Just not much salt, and probably a good deal of pepper. And then some oregano. Now, I've never tried this dish. And Bill just described it to me. Dr. Campbell just described it to me. And I think this is pretty close to what they had. The oregano is my addition. Now, your question is, when do you eat this? After about 3 days. That's when you eat it. It takes 3 days for this to marinate in your refrigerator. And at the end of that time, the garlic will be very mild and very tasty. And this is what is served. That is a little more than 2 portions. Can you imagine this? Look at the size of that rascal. And that's what you'd have as a side dish in the steppes in Russia. And it keeps them young. There's an old Russian story, about a man whose son died at 80 years old. And the old man, who was 103, said, I knew he was going to die as a child because he didn't like garlic. That's not even humorous. They believe it, and evidently it works. All right, here's a Russian salad. We'll eat that in 3 days. You'll have to come back. Now we want to go on to reminding you that you can prepare your own garlic vinegar very quickly, for instance. You should think about doing these things. Just find a paring knife first. Here we go. Simply cut up a clove of garlic. Use fresh garlic. Please don't use those instant things. I don't care for them. Put some garlic in your wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, and it's just heaven for a salad. This has a sprig of tarragon in it too, so I'm making my own special vinegar. Now in a few days that'll be ready. Do the same thing with olive oil, and you have a lovely garlic flavor that will really, really excite your salads. And you know, the lettuce deserves a fair shake, doesn't it? And I want to prepare an aioli sauce for you, which is a garlic mayonnaise. A garlic mayonnaise that's great on all kinds of cold meats and cold vegetables. And well, let me show you. It's very simple to do. We have one raw egg. And remember now, eggs need to be at room temperature. They're not going to blend properly. Put 1 raw egg into an osterizer. And I'm going to put in 5 cloves of garlic now. And for this crushing process, which will save my osterizer some time, I'm using a Susi garlic press. Please don't buy a cheap garlic press. It just isn't worth it. The Susi, S-U-S-I, is made in Switzerland. And you see, I can just run 5 cloves through it, lickety-split, without any trouble at all. They're imported by an outfit called Hoan, H-O-A-N. And you're going to spend $10 on one of these. And you're going to scream and holler all the way home that it was too expensive. But you're never going to be angry after you bring it home and play with it, because it's the best one in the market. It's the only one you can keep using over and over again. There, I think that's 5, isn't it? If I didn't put in 5 and you're counting at home, don't call me and tell me, because we'll assume this is 5. Okay, a whole egg at room temperature so that it can blend with the oil. We want an emulsion, you see. That's what a mayonnaise is. There. Now, by the way, I'm going to keep my, thought I had a glass of water. Yes, I'm going to keep my garlic press in a glass of water on the counter so I don't have to stop and keep cleaning it, you see. You understand why? That way it won't dry out. Just keep it in a little bit of water, and you're all set. Okay, I have my, my egg and garlic ready to go. I'm going to blend that for just a minute. Okay, and then we're going to add very slowly, and have the thing on about medium speed. We're going to add very slowly 1 entire cup of olive oil. Yes, this is rich. I know that. I know that. But it's terrific. It's just terrific. Here we go. We're making an emulsion. An emulsion means that the oil and the egg, you see how thick it's getting? It's having trouble turning now. That's what we want. Do this slowly. There we go. We have an emulsion. There. Almost. There it is. We have a mayonnaise of garlic. And we're going to add just a shot of lemon juice to this. And then I'll show you what you can serve it on. I think it's marvelous stuff. That's plenty. Oops, I got a couple of seeds in there. Well, that's nothing new in my life, is it? Most of you know that. All right. We'll stir in the lemon juice. See how thick that is? It's just gorgeous. And this will go. What can I do with it? I'll show you what yes, it is garlicky. It's terrifically garlicky. Marvelous. Rich, rich, rich. Look, cold potatoes. This would make a potato salad that will simply knock them dead. Cold new potatoes with garlic on aioli. Aioli, this is the name of this sauce. Aioli. And how about the chicken dish? I've got another one here for you. There we are. Oh, there's cold chicken with aioli on it. We need to garnish this with a bit of parsley, and we'll be all set. Oh, I'm chewing on the garlic clove in my mouth. It's just marvelous. I had a big chunk there from the sauce. You wondered about me today, huh? Well, here it is. We have, these are just going to stack up with garlic, and will all smell wonderful. If you have a lover that doesn't like garlic, cash him or her in. Change lovers. I'm serious. That's no way to make love. If you don't like garlic, you can't have any fun anyhow. I'm convinced. All right, next one that we're going to prepare for you. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. If you look back at the medicine history, the history of medicine in our world, you come to a time in history when garlic was considered to be a very great aphrodisiac and very good for the system. That was in the old days, in ancient Greece and in ancient Rome. Since that time, we have learned that there's a chemical in garlic called kaolic, K-Y-O-L-I-C. Kaolic, I guess is how you pronounce it then, isn't it? In any case, it is a natural blood thinner. And it's great if you have hypertension or heart problems. Garlic is the best thing you can eat. Better than popping pills, you see. Eat a whole butt of garlic every day and you'll be in great shape. I don't eat this one, I just wear it for the day. But I do want to show you how garlic is eaten. Where did I put my big one? Here it is. How garlic is eaten in Gilroy, California, which is where 90% of all of the garlic that is used in our culture is grown. In America, I mean, 90%. And you know, we're eating 3 times as much garlic now as we did 10 years ago. And we owe it all to the European influence within our culture, to the Greeks and the Poles and the Jews and the whole works, you see, who say none of those are European. All right, give up. In any case, and then the French, you see, who say garlic is important and necessary in your diet, and the Italians. So I'm going to slice up some garlic, and it's served like this at the Gilroy Garlic Festival in California. The place is about 90 miles south of San Francisco. So if you want to go to the festival, why, hop to it. There you are. Now, I need some brown bread, some black bread. Oh, there it is. And what you do, don't laugh at me now, is you put some garlic slices on the bread. Yes, that's it, that's it, that's it. And a little salt. Are you ready? It's very good for you. Very good for you. Elephant garlic is not quite as strong as regular garlic, but this is still enough to send me into rapture. I tell you, the stuff's incredible. Try and find some. It's now and then you can find it in fancy gourmet catalogs. Some guy in New York sells it for about $20 a pound. I think that's a little much, but you can find some. I have another friend who helps me here in my kitchen who claims that as a child, and she's Russian, they used to take a piece of Russian black bread, you see, just like this, and then rub garlic. And these are the little cloves, you see. Rub garlic on the crust. There. Ready? And this was an after-school treat for her. I've never tried it. We'll see. Wow, is that hot? You've got to keep chewing that bread. But it's awfully good. I'm not going to have any blood problems tonight, I'll tell you that. Let's try some more. There's so many things we should cook. If you want to make a spaghetti sauce in a hurry, then simply saute some garlic in a bit of olive oil. There we go. I'm going to chop up some elephant garlic because that'll be quickest for us. Saute some garlic in olive oil, and I don't want it to be quite toasty. I want it to be not quite brown, you see. There we are. And we'll saute this in olive oil for just a few minutes. I don't mind the big chunks because they're going to cook down. Look at that. That's 1 clove of garlic, and I've already used some of it. Remember to turn your knife over when you're going to scrape something off your board. Don't use the sharp part. Turn your knife over and use the dull part. That way you're not going to dull your knives, right? Well, it is right in any case. Every chef should tell you that. But most of us get into the habit of doing very bad things in our kitchen, and we have to keep sharpening our knives all the time. We shouldn't have to. Okay, now we get some olive oil into that. There we are, and let that simmer for a minute. How much olive oil? Well, I've got 5 or 6 cloves of garlic and a couple tablespoons of olive oil. We'll let that cook for a bit. In the meantime, let's see, we need some whipping cream, and we need some pepper, and we need some grated cheese. There, this dish will be all ready now. The pasta, by the way, has already been cooked, and I'll show you a good secret, a trick about this. The pasta has been kept in cold water after it was not quite tender, so that all I have to do now, you see, it's not quite cooked to fulfillment. So now what I need to do is to drain this, and then I can easily throw it into boiling water in a colander. There we go. And it'll be ready in just a second. Just at the time I need it, you see. That way I can have hot pasta whenever I want it, and I don't have to tell everyone to wait. A lot of restaurants do it this way too. And you can cook pasta at the last minute. Just a second here. Okay. That'll be ready right now. I need some more boiling water. I think I'll throw in some of this garlic water here. There we go. Now we're set. All right. My garlic is not quite finished, but very close. There we are. Now to that, I want to add, to my garlic, I want to add a bit of whipping cream. There. Oh, just garlic. Just garlic and olive oil. Add some whipping cream, straight, right out of the old box there. There it is. Okay. If you're a garlic freak, at this point you're in a moment of hysteria. I know you're yelling and screaming at everyone else in the family to watch, and they're probably wondering about you, but you and I understand each other, don't we? Garlic is heavenly stuff. All right, we're ready for the pasta. There we go. Be sure and drain this now. You don't want water on the platter. There we go. And now I'll prepare the sauce for you. It's very, very simple. Here, it's just come to a simmer now. So it's finished. Put the sauce over our pasta. White on white. Look at that gorgeous, that elephant garlic has a green tinge to it, doesn't it? Isn't that beautiful? We need some pepper. If you want to put a little salt in your sauce, well, of course you're welcome to do that, but I really prefer to just enjoy the garlic. And some cheese. And this is what I would call garlic pasta. What else could you possibly call it, for heaven's sakes? All right, are you ready? One more. Garlic pasta. There. And finally today, I want to keep my pan rolling here. I want to prepare a dish called hot bath. It's called bagna cotta. It's from Italy, and it's simply a good excuse for eating garlic and anchovies. So in a small pan, I want you to saute in olive oil, a smidgen of olive oil, 3 or 4, maybe 5 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to chop them up. The pan is already hot, you understand. So in they go. Remember the back of the knife. In they go. And I'll add some olive oil to that now. Bagna cotta, which is the Italian phrase for hot bath, or what we would call, the French would call a bain-marie. And I'll show you how it's used. Okay, go ahead. Here, come on, cook olive oil, cook garlic. Isn't that beautiful? Now we want to add 4 or 5 anchovies to that. And I'm going to simply mash the anchovies up These are beautiful anchovies. These are salted Italian ones, you see. So you're not going to have to add any salt to this dish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's plenty. We'll put these on another little dish here. And I'm just going to mash them with a fork. I've tried this with anchovy paste, and it just isn't as good. Just doesn't work. And we want to cook our garlic until it's soft. And it's doing nicely now. And then we're going to put our anchovies. Ugh, what a paste we have now. There we go. Our anchovies will go into the pan, along with the olive oil, a little bit of olive oil, and the garlic. Please don't use a metal fork in your pans. You're going to ruin them. And we'll cook this until the... better turn the heat down on you here. Just medium heat will do. Cook this until the anchovies soften a bit. They'll kind of turn to a paste. You see what's happening? They're just all kind of coming apart. We're ready. There we are. If you have decided that this is a rich dish, boy, you're really clever today. Because it's murder. Now that will go into a pot that I have prepared here for you. This is a bain-marie. It is a double boiler, you see, or a bagna cotta. It has hot water in the bottom, and into that we're going to pour our anchovies, olive oil, and garlic. And in that already I have a half of a cup of olive oil and 1 stick or 1 cube of butter, melted. So that's the whole recipe. Have you got that? I'll give you the whole works now. We have in the bain-marie a half a cup of olive oil and a stick of butter. We've melted that. And in a frying pan we've sauteed several cloves of garlic, 3 or 4, in a bit of oil, and we added 5 or 6 fillets of anchovy, salted, mashed up, sauteed those separately in the pan, then added them to our bagna cotta. We need some salt and pepper now, and this is ready to go. How am I going to serve this? Funny you should ask. I'll show you how. And it's done this way in Italy. There we are, some pepper. I'm sure we're not going to need any salt. And the bagna cotta is now set. Here we go. I need a pot holder, and I'm going to put this on a sterno burner or something that would be helpful for your table. You see, you don't want to burn the place up. But the idea is to keep this very hot during dinner. And this is how it's eaten. All right, are you ready? You take a pickle, I shouldn't say a pickle, a cucumber stick, and you dip it in the dip of the bagna cotta, and gobble that one up, you see? I cannot tell you, and I would never lie to you, I cannot tell you how delicious that is. Or how about a green onion? Or a celery stick? Or, if you're ready for really wild things, try a bit of endive. And endive is terrific in this. You just roll it into a kind of a stick, you see. I'm going to stand here and eat all day. Isn't this great? You stop by and I do nothing but eat in front of you. I think the lettuce is my favorite one. That's great. And of course, you must also have a big pile of bread on the table, and you dip that into the pot. Garlic is an absolutely colossal food, and you can enjoy it. Its history is so strange. It goes back to Egyptian times. We see it arriving in just about every culture you can possibly imagine, with the exception of the Eskimos. They're the only people I know that don't eat garlic, and I think it's a shame. They should probably have some too, but they're not really into that. In Greece, we see it as a symbol of strength and courage. You wore garlic, you breathed garlic, you rubbed garlic on the soles of your feet when you went off to war to give you great strength. And in the Bible, there's a marvelous light in which Moses is out in the middle of the desert, and all of the children of Israel are running along behind him, and they're really becoming frustrated. They're becoming angry because they're starving to death, you see? That's a major problem. And you know what they say to him? They begin yelling at him, and they call him, literally in Hebrew, they call him a dum-dum. And they say, Moses, at least in Egypt, we had leeks and cucumbers and garlic. That's how gorgeous it was, and that's how heavenly the stuff is. And it's still the case. In medieval Europe, garlic was expected as a great medicine. You had to wear it all the time. Great stuff. And I'm convinced you should wear it now. So these are the dishes today. I made a bagna cotta for you, which is this hot bath, you see, and this will be kept hot on the table, and into that we can dip all kinds of vegetables. It's really olive oil, garlic, butter, and anchovy. That's all, and it's terrific stuff. We made an aioli, and the aioli was a paste, you remember, a mayonnaise, a garlic mayonnaise, that in this case we put over potatoes, and we can also put it over chicken. I made a baked garlic for you. Glorious stuff that you simply squeeze onto a piece of bread or toast, you see, and enjoy it that way. We made a garlic pasta. We made a Russian salad. Look at this stuff, you see. And this Russian salad, you remember, is not going to be worth a thing for at least 3 days. You're sitting here waiting. I can just feel it. You're sitting here waiting for me to pick that up and eat it. Well, I'm not going to do it yet because it hasn't waited for 3 days, you see. But at the end of the 3 days, then I will enjoy it. There's the garlic. The elephant garlic is not for elephants, it's for you and I, and garlic should be enjoyed by everyone. It's a classic bit of flavoring and a great bit of health. So enjoy it with your family and enjoy one another. And then give them a kiss. I'm glad we could be together today. This is the Frugal Gourmet breathing for you. Until I see you again, I bid you peace. Bye-bye.